Just briefly, do you really know what was on it? It was just like a kind of a hymn talking about what the kind of countering some of the demonization.
No. It was a study tape.
It was a study
to give people an idea of what we believed.
Taking place, and everyone here is, of course, nervously awaiting the outcome.
Building. Lots of armored vehicles moving back and forth outside the building, knocking holes in it. We have not seen any of the Branch Davidians, and we have not seen any federal agents anywhere in any of these pictures. Most of these are on our big lens cameras that can shoot over that 2-mile area.
Jim, I understand that you heard something that sounded like gunshots this morning, but it might in fact be something else altogether?
That's right. Flashbangs or stun grenades, perhaps, is what they were. We heard the first shots at about 6:30 Central Time, 2. Then we heard one later, and we've heard several more since. Those indeed could be stun grenades, which would be something they would use if they wanted to go in and get the people out. Other than that, we haven't seen it.
Jim, I read that these people might be gassed. Have you heard anything along those lines?
There are unconfirmed reports that gas has been thrown into the buildings, but those have not been confirmed yet.
What is going on now, Vicki? Good morning.
Good morning, Paula. Just minutes ago, we had some movement from inside the compound. There was a banner that was unfurled from one of the upper windows. We believe that banner reads, "We want our phone fixed." That may refer to something that happened early this morning, about 5:30 Central Time. Negotiators called into the compound. They told the person who answered the phone, "We are going to start gassing you if you don't come out." There was no movement. Apparently, negotiators say that person hung up the phone. At this point, seeing the banner, we don't know if that means the person hung up or if perhaps there is some trouble with the phone lines. What happened then was about a half hour later, just before first light, a tank moved very close to the compound and in fact knocked a gaping hole into the wall of the compound. Shortly after that, another tank moved in. That tank moved around to another side and pulled down what seemed to be an entire section of the wall. Not long after that, another tank pulled up. The back of the tank opened up. 3 federal agents got out and threw what appeared to be gas canisters inside of the compound. We saw some white smoke come billowing out after that. So apparently on this 51st day, federal agents' patience is running quite thin.
Vicki, I know that you've asked federal agents about what type of gas they're using, and they won't confirm it for you, but it appears as though it is very windy there. Do you have, or anybody have any way of knowing if this gas is really sort of seeping into the building or underneath it?
Sources had told me that the gas was going to be shot into the building, in through the windows. I imagine that these very, very high winds has caused them to have a change of plans such that they had to get very close and actually toss it in. What they have preferred to do the entire time as they were cleaning debris out, as they were getting the few people who have come out of the compound, what they have done is bring the tanks up, and they have used the tanks to shield them. They have stayed quite far back. But today they have actually gotten the closest we've ever seen them to the compound.
If in fact there is this underground network with, I guess, which federal agents have in fact confirmed underneath this housing, what do you suppose is the strategy behind
Paula, we understand that a tank has just gone through the front door of the compound, just gone through the front door right now. Yesterday, the tanks came along and they pushed all the old cars out of the front. They took away all the debris. There was a small wall in front of the front door. They knocked that wall down, and now just seconds ago, they have actually knocked down the front door. Now, to get back to your question about the underground tanker, we have understood all the way through that cult members were using some sort of underground, kind of a basement. They were using that for target practice. So I think what federal agents are afraid of is that once they were threatened with the gas going in, that cult members may have gone down underneath.
Okay, we've got about 3 minutes worth of pictures, and I want to go ahead and let Clive talk over what we're seeing here, and then we're going to go ahead and get to some phone calls. We've had callers online I'm holding for a long time. Okay, bring them up. Hello.
Hello.
You're on the air.
How you doing?
Good, and you?
I'm doing okay. Good evening, Catherine.
Yeah.
How do you do?
Good evening. I'd like to say this is something that I've been following for, I guess, since the day it kind of came to the attention of the public. And I followed it all the way through, and during my last year or so at college, I was the one that was very outspoken about the issue. And you get a pretty bad stigma placed on you when you side with the non-popular side.
Right.
And actually, does the name Stewart Wright ring a bell to you folks?
I've heard the name, yes.
He was at the hearings, wrote a book. He's a sociology professor.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't ring a bell to you too?
No, I think you said you heard the name, didn't you?
Yeah, I've heard the name. I don't know the man.
Okay, well...
Are you talking about now?
No, I mean, anything they've shown over the past few years. Do you watch the normal programming just to see what they're saying about it?
Yes, we do.
Like on Dateline this week, they reveal the truth about what happened in the compound, and then they show the Jules or some crap, giving a line about what happened in the compound. Do y'all watch those programs?
Sometimes we do, but I work during the day, so I don't always get to see all of them.
Tell you the truth, I'm kind of tired of it, of listening to the outside world tell me what it was like when I was there.
I agree, yeah.
I can completely see where that would come in. How do you feel about the hearings?
I had some hopes going into the congressional hearings, since I appeared up there, that some good or at least the truth would come out. Those hopes were dashed basically because we saw the politics involved in both the congressional hearings and the Senate hearings. One side playing devil's advocate and so forth. But even when facts came out and individuals were exposed, you might say, as either perjuring themselves or admitting to certain things, nothing was ever done about it, and it certainly didn't help our friends who are still in prison. And so I'm a little upset over the hearings. I figure, you almost get to the point where you figure it's a waste of time. About the only reason I keep talking to the people is that there are still plenty of people out there that don't know what went on and the truth of the matter, and you hope to reach, you might say, the grassroots audience. But as far as reaching the heart of those that were involved, such as the ATF or the FBI or politicians or whatever, it seems like it's just a game with them. Nothing good seems to come out of it, I'm afraid.
I would encourage you, Clive, to not, as we talked before the show, to not give up.
Well, I'm not giving up, but I'm just saying.
The world is so wicked right now that any little bit of righteousness that anybody can speak is, we need. The world needs it. I think that there's no question that this whole world is.
Oh, I'll keep speaking as long as we've got people still locked up that were found innocent by a jury. I'll keep talking out, but it does get discouraging when you see obvious, as I say, perjury in the court, and nothing ever gets done about the ones that are perpetrating.
Can't we just talk over?
No, we gotta change this.
Okay, we got to change the tape out for. Okay, so we'll be back in about a minute? Okay, we'll be back in just a minute. Quick slate. We got to change the tape up because this is going to be put back on 2 access channels.